beautiful little towns and villages, often on a river as it runs through. And so the places I've been to in Britain are really, they are quaint, they are beautiful, they are laid back. And so today we're going to look at some of the ones I've seen and some of the ones I have not. But really, there are some beautiful towns and villages. So some of the towns we're going to go to today are we're going to go to Warkworth, we're going to Knaresborough, we're going to go to Castle Combe, we're going to Tewkesbury, we're going to Upton on Severn. Oh, oh, sorry, I jumped. I want to go back. The little town that you can see here in the picture is actually Castle on Combe, and it's really beautiful. It's such a beautiful place to be. Oh, no, hang on, is it Upton on Severn? I think that's Upton on Severn. I've forgotten now. Been to both, but we'll have a look and see. But the first place we are heading for today is the village of Walksworth. Yeah, Walksworth in Northumberland. It's framed by an impressive ruin, which was well preserved medieval castle and a church and a hermitage. The site on which it is surrounded on three sides by the river Croquet. It's really beautiful because it's like a piece of land that sticks out. So it's part of an oxbow, basically, if you were to cut it off. And so there's just river everywhere you look. You almost think that you are out of sea, out away from things. It's just really, really beautiful having the river all around. It's a very attractive bridge. Listen to me, village. And it occupies this loop here in Croquet. And it's about 1 mile from the sea. It's on a high rise above the river stands the medieval stronghold of the Warkworth Castle and a fine Norman fortress home to a powerful Percy family, the Duke of Northumberland. The castle features Shakespeare's plays. They were always held in this castle. He loved Shakespeare, so he invited Shakespeare there, and the plays were always done, particularly Henry the Fourth. The castle may have been founded by Prince Henry of Scotland or by Henry the Third of England. They're not quite sure, but because the castle dates right back to 1157. King John visited here in 1213, and Edward the First followed in 1292. The castle withstood 2 Scottish sieges and later passed to the crown. It fell into decay in the 18th century, but was rescued in the 3rd and 4th century, rescued by the 3rd and 4th Dukes of Northumberland. And now it is part of being cared for by the English Heritage Foundation, and they really do a great job looking after it. The parish church of St. Lawrence stands at one end of the marketplace and boasts one of the longest naves in the country. It stands on the site of an 8th century wooden church built by monks. So what a beautiful little place. And you can see it's a tiny little town that stands on the one side of the castle. Really, really beautiful. Look at this, the little town. And this is typical. The little towns that you go into, they've all got their little main street with all their tiny little shops. And even if they've got a Sainsbury's and a slightly bigger thing, they don't have the big shopping malls at all. They're all quaint and beautiful. This is the little church of St. Lawrence. Very beautiful little church. And there's the longest nave in the world. So there it is. It stretches up and up and up as it goes. So now, before we go on to our next town, let's just have a look at, welcome everybody else who's joined us today. Nice to see you, Lisa and Audrey. lovely to have you joining us as well as Carolyn and Ivy. Hope I haven't missed anybody out. So let's look at Walksworth. As you can see, it's right on the coast as well. So it really is beautiful to go and visit such a place. Oops, now I've gone too big and I can't get out. There we are. Now I can get out. All right. Oops, see, this is going to start playing. Now stop sharing. Now, the next place we're going to is a really cute place, and that is Knaresborough. And Knaresborough is a beautiful little 19th century sorry, let me just get into where I am. In a scene out of it looks like it's out of a 19th century painting. It clings to a steep gorge and it's crossed by a railway viaduct. So there's the rail goes in and out, and the people spend their time on the river. It's really beautiful. It's charming, and in summer you can sit at the little cafes and look at the river. And there are caves that are linked to the 15th century prophetess and the 13th century hermit, as well as the ruins of a castle that welcomed royalty throughout the medieval period. The stairways and cobblestoned alleys twist up from the riverside to the old town centre, depositing you in England's oldest pharmacy and the cozy rural markets that they have on a Wednesday. So you can really go and see, look at this beautiful little town right on the river, and the viaduct is the main feature. Right upriver is a protected landscape of the Nid Gorge, where you could walk and cycle through ancient woods in the shadows of the gorge's